All right, so on to today's lesson about quadratic equations in vertex form. The quadratic equation was anything whose degree was a 2, right? Our highest degree was a 2. And right now they have been given to us in standard form, the ax squared plus bx plus c. So we want to rewrite this equation in vertex form. Vertex forms up there on the wall, the y or f of x equals a x minus h squared plus k. It is actually a form of the equation that we come across when we are completing the square. So let's treat this as if I were completing the square, and I will show you where we can stop and find the vertex form in that. If I was completing the square, I wouldn't have a y. I would make it equal 0. All right, and my first step would be to move the c. So my 12, I would subtract 12 from both sides. I would have negative 12. I would leave a blank for the proper c. I have the x squared minus 10x. That's gone, and I'm going to leave a blank for what should be there. Then remember we found our b, which is negative 10. Our b over 2, we found our b divided by 2, so negative 10 divided by 2, which is negative 5. And we found our b over 2 squared, which would just be that negative 5 squared. So that's a positive 25. Remember, this one was always positive, and that's what I would fill in on both sides, the 25, the 25. All right, negative 12 plus 25 gives me 13 equals, and then I rewrote this trinomial as a perfect square binomial. Right, I always had the x, and then whatever my b over 2 was went in here, so it's a minus 5. Now, if you look up there, the vertex form has this x minus 5 squared. The only difference is this number is supposed to be on the other side. So lastly, I would just take the 13 away. I am not solving by completing the square. I'm trying to write this in vertex form. This would be it here. My vertex form, since they said y, it's y equals x minus 5 squared minus 13. Okay? This is vertex form. Again, vertex form is up there, but it's y equals. My a in this case, since I don't have a number, it would be a 1. But I can clearly tell what my h and my k are, right? Okay, so let's come up with some kind of shortcut. I do not have to complete the square every time I can, and it will get me to the vertex form if I just stop right here. But let's think about what are these numbers. This h actually came from right here, right? That was the b divided by 2. So if I think of this as, if I think of my h as my b divided by 2, since it's a negative h, technically it's like a negative b divided by 2. That might confuse you. The k, that negative 13 came from my negative 12 plus 25, right? But then I moved it to the other side. So really what k is the c you already had, which was my 12, and I took away my b over 2 squared. Okay, and I know you're probably saying, Miss Jones, what in the world? This does not look easier, but I promise you it is. Let's give it a try. Okay, so what I am saying is for the vertex form, for my vertex form, I could have f of x or y, whichever we want to use. If they give us function notation, then we give function notation back. But if they wrote it with a y, then we get answer with a y. A, and yes, this a is actually the same a that's in the ax squared plus bx plus c. I'm going to put an x. I'm going to put plus my b over 2 squared, and then my k is going to be the c, take away the b divided by 2 squared. This is what we are going to use. Let me show you how it works. Okay, so what I need is my b over 2 I need my b over 2, and I need my b over 2 squared, just like I did before. So here it's in function notation. My a is the number 1, right? My b over 2, my b is 6, so b divided by 2 would be 6 divided by 2, or 3. And then I need my b divided by 2 squared. So that would just be that 3 squared, which would be 9. Okay, so if I put it in the formula, f of x equals, a again is 1. If you want to write the 1, you can. You don't have to. X, I said plus my b over 2. My b over 2 was 3. So plus the 3 squared. And then I said plus your c. So whatever your c was. My c in this case was 11. So plus the 11. Take away the b divided by 2 squared. So minus my b divided by 2 squared was 9. All right, then I'll just simplify. So my answer is x plus 3 squared, and 11 take away 9 leaves you with 2, right? That is it. That is the vertex form. Okay, not so bad. Need some more? Sure you do. Let's do a couple more. All right, so example 3. Let's do a 3 and a 4. F of x equals x squared minus 16x minus 13 will be our 3. And then 4, let's actually make a star for you. So 4 will be f of x equals x squared minus 8x plus 15. All right, so to write it in vertex form, all of these so far, my a has just been 1, right? My a has just been 1. My b here is negative 16, and my c is negative 13. What I need to find is my b divided by 2, which would be negative 16 divided by 2, which would be negative 8. And I need my b over 2 squared. So my negative 8 squared, which would be 64. All right, so if I put it into the formula that we've come up with here, again, my a is just a 1. I have x plus my b over 2. My b over 2 is negative 8, so plus the negative 8, or just minus 8 when I simplify that, squared. And then just drop your c down, whatever it is. So my c was negative 13. You can write plus negative 13. And then I'm supposed to take away my b divided by 2 squared. So I will take away my b divided by 2, which is 64. All right, so f of x equals x minus 8 squared, and negative 13 minus 64 more will give me negative 77. And that is it. That is your vertex form. You feel like you get the formula? If not, you can always complete the square and then just subtract it so that it looks like it is in vertex form. But I suggest using this. It's faster. All right, give number 4 a try. It is a star.